This is Gmtv.
Hello, welcome once again to One on One on Gmtv, and my name has always been Dr. Gabi Okonji. Today, like every other day, we always have special people with special stories on how they began the journey to the through life and the 7 mountains of life. We brought on this show individuals from near heaven experience, people, ex-cultists, men who had dramatic call of God, and then those who ordinarily just needed to serve God and they found their place in the kingdom. But today, again, I'm going to bring another intriguing story. This story is also one that many of you would love to hear. It's a story about an ex-drug lord, drug peddler that was in jail, and not just in jail in Nigeria, jailed in Europe. And after that, he lost all his contacts because he needed to answer the call. And today, that call has taken him around the world to several prisons. I have in the house no other person than Evangelist Christian Chukwuka. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir.
It's good to have you once again.
Thanks.
Yes. So, Evangelist,
Sir.
Before you were called Evangelist, you were called a drug lord, maybe a Capone, maybe Escobar in quote. We're just using that name. But let's know you. Let's know, the full history, where you're from, and the things that happened to you before now.
Okay. Basically, my name is Evangelist Christian Chukwuka, as you all know. I was actually born and raised in a very poor family here in Aba, but originally from Newi. My parents are from Newi, and they had nothing. They're absolutely poor. I mean, really poor. So we are 7 in family. They couldn't send us to school. They managed to sponsor only one, the first son, to school. The rest have to drop out. It took me to slavery, I call it, in Cameroon, both in Maiduguri. Well, I couldn't because I was a very stubborn child. I couldn't stay, I couldn't serve. Everything went down the drain. Came back home one day, said to my mom, I need to move on. I want you to do something for me. And I had only primary 6 education, so there's nothing like secondary school or university whatsoever. And I meet my mom, say, you have to start something for me. That was 1980, something about 84, 85. And she sold everything she had and gave me the 10,000 naira she could realize then. And I traveled back to Lagos. I traveled to Lagos, lived in Surulere then with my brother in his house, and then started running up and down, trying to help myself. As God may have it, I made some money. And then when I made that money, pride came. I want to travel abroad. And I begin to mix up with some bad guys and all that. When I see people that are flying around, I was really more of like into money, A child born of Newi blood, you know what it is.
Yes, I like that.
So that money thing just engulfed me.
The natural tendency to make money.
I just want to make it so I can help the poor. Not because I want to live elegantly, but just to help the poor. I have this instinct of giving. I was naturally born to give. So I don't like seeing people around me. So anyway, that made me to travel to Europe, and then and getting to that Europe, I had to take a drastic step. And that step was when I was running African country doing business. Everything was draining down. There's no profit because Nigeria is far better than anywhere you can go to in Africa in terms of business. I sold everything, traveled. Then I resided in Gambia. Saw my money diminishing. I couldn't do anything. Shame to return back to Nigeria was a massive. I couldn't just come back because people know me as a big boy in Lagos already, having 2 vehicles at my hand as a young boy. But then, if I come back, where will I start? What will I tell my friends, people that know me, that respecting me as a rich guy already?
Yes.
That shame made me to stay in Gambia and sold everything gone. I had only $3,000 left. Now, I took a drastic step again to try to see how I'm going to better my life. Devil began to lead me then. Because when a man is desperate, there's a very big chance of working with devil.
Yes.
So I took that step of going to immigration office to go and get a Gambia passport. By then, Gambia passports have 5 free visa countries and many others that I'm not aware, but 5 solid countries like United Kingdom that comprises many countries, of course. Then Sweden, Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Norway, all the Scandinavian countries. Yes, Scandinavia.
Wow.
So I had to travel with that. I get that Gambia passport, but I pay heavy price to get the passport. And what was the price? First, they said I should pay $1,500. Yes, I can afford it. I gave them the money. I thought that's it. Just to buy my ticket and get my BT and travel. That was it. They said, no, there's one more thing. After I finished paying the money, they told me that I have to change my name. My brother, that was the area. That's the area that really baffled me. I have to change my name. And you know my name is Christian Okeze Chukwuka, a core Christian name, right?
Yes.
Now I have to drop everything and pick up a Muslim name.
Because Gambians are majorly Christian nation. Yes.
Yeah. 9-something% Muslim. So I pick up Omar Bashiru, my dear. Till today, as I'm talking to you, I don't know the meaning of Omar Bashiru. That's how I picked that name, and I carry that identity that I don't even know. You know, leaving the name Christian behind was a very big torment to me. And then Chukwuka also dropping it. It wasn't nice at all. But I had to do it because I needed to succeed. I needed to make money. I was desperate. That's how I picked that passport. Then when they helped me at the Gambia airports, then I travel on getting to UK, on landing to Gatwick airport. They look at my face right there, tell me that I'm an Igbo man. They didn't even tell me that I'm a Nigerian.
They told you you're an Igbo man.
They just said to me, you're an Igbo man. And I start shaking. You know, there's a way these white people will attack you in immigration.
Yes.
You will lose your composure. Even though I know I didn't go to school, but I have a level of
composition.
I mean, I'm really composed somehow. And I have this
confidence. Confidence. Yes.
I have confidence. Pardon my bad English.
No, it's okay. The show is open for everybody.
That's why I have to tell everybody on time that I'm an illiterate before I make any interview.
You're not an illiterate. You are very informed.
You need to know about my level of grammar. So anyway, this very young man looked at me and he said, I'm an Igbo man. And I said, no, I'm a Gambian. I tried to be a little bit like,
Gambia, yes.
And the guy just locked me in a small room, very cool, like a small cell inside the prison, inside the airport there, and pick up the phone and call Gambia to investigate. And devil have his way as well. Devil is the one doing this one. Don't bring God into it. So devil said to them that I am a Nigerian citizen, but I'm a Gambia. So that's how they left me. So this is not God, because God has never put hand in my travel. He wanted me to be in this land and be a great man, because he has born me a great person.
Wow.
Remember when I was born 1967, there was a civil war. The first bomb in Amos in Aba General Hospital was in the bed where I was born that same day.
Are you serious?
So why didn't I die that moment? That's when I knew that this is a destiny child.
You mean the first bomb that was
landed
in Aba
General Hospital? I was
in the Nigerian Civil War.
That same day I was born. When my mom told me this story, it captivated me heavily. That's when I begin to realize, no, I'm not an ordinary person. I'm just like a Moses somehow. I'm not trying to blow my ego here. I mean, this is a proper
everybody has a call.
Is a proper child. So anyway, and then they allow me to travel when they finally confirmed that I'm a Nigerian truly, but a Gambian nationality, and they allowed me to continue my journey. So I couldn't enter UK, of course, because I don't have anybody to receive me at the airport. And my ticket en route Transwede airline to Sweden, so I have to go to Stockholm, Arlanda airport. On getting there, nobody walked out from the airport. Everyone was so cold. It looks miserable. You don't even see a black man. Everybody's white. And, I don't even speak good English, so how do I communicate? That was the first shock I have in my life. I begin to have that feeling of I want to go back to Africa. And I said, let me give it a try. Don't give up like that. That's how I start struggling. Try to enter Denmark. Nothing is happening. The same thing. Try to enter Germany 3 times.
So we're just going around Europe,
taking the train, trying to pass with.
As if you are going from Lagos to Ibadan.
Trying to find a place I can fit in. You know, because there's interconnectivity with their trains. You know? So you just enter train from here to here. From Stockholm, there you can switch to
Germany,
Denmark, from Denmark to Germany. So anyway, they deported me from Germany 2 times. The third one, I took a risk of going by car.
They deported you from Germany to
Denmark because my passport is Scandinavia. It goes to Scandinavia countries. Enter Bundesrepublik, which is Germany.
Yes, but you can visit but you cannot stay.
Yeah, you can't even enter because I don't have a visa to that. I have a free visa to Scandinavia and UK.
Yes,
but not Germany. So I tried to enter it illegally, so they deported me twice. The third one, we nearly died at the border, me and some of the friends. And God saved me. It's a long story. And then we moved back to Sweden. When we got back to Denmark, I traveled with train down to Sweden, a place called Malmo in the southern part of Sweden. On getting to the place, I declared myself a refugee.
Why did you do that?
Because that's the only way. If you don't seek asylum, you won't get papers. It wasn't easy. You have to be an asylum seeker. As you declare that your mother dead, father dead, there's war in your country,
or you're on a political
Liberia or Sierra Leone or anything at all. So I chose Sudan because I had a little bit clue of what's going on in Sudan. I went to library, checked some magazines about the war in Southern Sudan. So I go there, blow all the lies, and they look at me saying, yeah. They know I'm lying.
They know you're lying.
Yeah, they know I was lying. So there's nothing. I just, after talking the whole grammar, they picked me, give me my code number, and they took me to the boat where the what is it called, the refugee camp. It's in a very big boat inside the sea.
Wow.
So they drove us there, some of the other refugees, and put us there. After 6 months, I had opportunity to come out of that boat for us to go to town for shopping and looking around. I escaped from that place. That's how I started looking for a woman to marry. Devil giving me instructions now to follow. I got a lady that's quite older than me, because if you marry a younger one, you're not going to get any paper anyway. That one wouldn't help you. So you have to look for somebody older that can help you to fight immigration.
So that explains a lot of these things that our brothers are doing out there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You see, either you go into that to get papers, or maybe you come through education or something. Obviously, I didn't come through education.
Yes.
I came illegally, so I had to get married. It's not a story I love to tell, but I have to do it.
No, what is your story?
To help people.
Yeah, of course.
To help people to understand, before you embark on a journey to Europe, these are the things facing you. So you need to make a choice. I stepped into that anyway. I ran away there, met this lady, lied, said all kind of lies, and she thought I was honest. She brought me in, and then in the process we get involved in getting married. Travel to Nigeria and all that. That's how. Oh,
you traveled back to Nigeria with the Scandinavian lady.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
And then you got married to her.
Yes, sir.
And you also made us believe that you were married at Oyibo.
Yeah, I was making people believe that it's a genuine marriage.
Yes.
But from my heart, it wasn't. I was just looking for paper, which was devastating when the woman found out.
Yes. We have a lot of cases like that, too.
Yeah. So, and then I finally, 1 year, 3 months, I was in Nigeria. After the marriage, she left. 1 year, 3 months, I was in Nigeria. I get the paper, then I travel back to Sweden. On getting to Sweden, you still have to play that tricks again. And the tricks is that you must exercise patience before you indulge into any crime. You have to get that European passport in your hand. So I waited for about 3 years. Then Swedish passport was very easy, not nice, not so easy anymore. About 3 years, and they gave me the Swedish passport. When I finally got that passport, I said, bingo, now it's time for crime.
Okay, that means all of this, you already knew that you were going to go into crime.
Yeah, because there's no work. Illiterate, you didn't go to school, primary six, you have no knowledge. If you want to do cleaning in Sweden, you have to study the document, the chemical you're using to do cleaning, and I can't do that. I don't have the knowledge of cleaning either.
And there was no place for you to even learn there. There was no opportunity
to have papers to learn. And when you get that papers, like I got these papers now, I don't have patience. I want to make
so that's the point, because now you've gotten the papers. I felt, okay, now you are now like a legal citizen, and knowing that
could have been down
exactly, because majority of the Scandinavian countries, especially Sweden, and education is almost free if you are willing to.
Very powerful system.
So, but you've answered it that you were not patient, because at this time you felt you were getting old.
Yeah.
And you got that time was running.
And the two is just love of money. And not knowing Christ. If I know Christ, I would have been patient.
Yes. Yes. If you're just watching this show, this is one-on-one on GMTV, and my name is Dr. Gabriel Okonji. Sometimes you can know me as Gabi. We are here with evangelist Christian Chukwuka, and of course, I'm already enjoying the tales. Actually, it sounds like a tale, but this is his experience, and that's what the show is all about. We want to hear you tell us your own truths, and then he's told us his experience thus far, and I know his experience. A lot of us, a lot of our brothers, a lot of us have people who have such experiences. But this also is an eye-opener to understand what takes place in the mind of the young people. But as we go on a break right now, when we come back, we'll get to hear the other intriguing parts of how Evangelist Christian got to where he is. Don't go anywhere. Sit back, relax.
Some some people don't know why they've been going around circles. Get control of your tongue. You can get control of this year, 2025. Get control of your tongue and your future will be in your hand. When your emotion is misbehaving, don't talk. When you get it under control again, that's when you can open that your mouth. Because listen, Jesus said, it is not what people eat that come out of the toilet that defies a man. It is what comes out of people's mouths. It is your words that makes you a dirty person.
Order your copy of Dr. David Obueli's latest book, The Laws of Proper Speech. You can rule your word with your words. Your speech determines what you attract and what you repel. Also available on Amazon. Order your copy now with this QR code.
Hello, welcome back to One-on-One on Gmtv. My name is Dr. Gabriel Okonji, and I'm in the house with evangelist Christian Chukwuka. The wonderful story has been telling us now is something that is almost like a Nollywood scripted story, but this is somebody's reality. And before we went on the break, Christian was telling us on how he acquired European residency or became a citizen of one of the European countries, and now in his mind it was game on for evil. Let's go back to Christian. Okay. Yeah, and Evangelist Christian, there's something that's interesting me, and you can see the word I use here because I noticed that you were very particular about saying that it wasn't God's plan. And everything that you did from this point was of the devil. That's why I use the word evil. So this is operating under the influence of the kingdom of darkness. Yes. And immediately you got the papers, for some people to get the papers, like I said, to begin maybe to do something right, to get a manual labor job, to get a job, start earning money to change. But there was the voice of the devil speaking to you and directing you for evil. So let's take it up from there.
Okay, finally, when I finally got the Swedish passport,
yes,
I felt like the world is mine, I can do whatever. First of all, the conscience was not there. I would have thought of the woman that I was living with. We have a son together. And because we have a son together, I ought to have thought of the circumstances, the situation before getting a divorce. I just abandoned the woman without thinking about the consequences. And the woman had a very good job, doing very well. But that abandonment and that divorce shattered her life.
Wow.
I didn't stay care. All I want is just that.
But you didn't divorce her, you just abandoned her?
I abandoned her, then filed divorce letter to move on, because you have to do that.
Okay.
And she was really wounded. When I found Christ is when I realized the damages I've caused in people's life. And I began restitution, which is crying out to God, begging those that I ought to forgive me, that I couldn't restore the people that died because of my illegal business, such as drug dealing. And
before we get to your turnaround point, we need to hear. So you entered the evil. Want to know what exactly you did, because you went to jail. Want to know why you went to jail.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, after that documents, you start feeling like you have everything. Al Capone, Tony Montana, Marlon Brando. You see that feeling.
So those are the people that mentored you.
Why get me into all this drug business. I start hanging around with bad people and so on, start pushing cocaine. And we start doing it in a high level. Not that we're just selling 1 kilo cocaine or something. We push cocaine in a large quantity to US, to Europe and everything. And
you push from
South America.
You push from South America
to North America, to Europe and all that.
Wow.
And there was so much money inflowing. And because I have European passport, I was the one actually.
How did you get the contact? How did you tell us what your first day on this particular transaction? How did you get involved? That's your first day. How did you get involved? Who talked to you? Or you already knew about it from Nigeria, or while you were in Europe there, while you were preparing, while you're trying to get the papers, you already made contact? I wanted to know.
Yeah, I have my brother living abroad already. While I was in Sweden, I started making my contacts.
Okay, so before you got the papers, you already knew that you're going to go into drug dealing.
Yes, I've already know the plans of how to make my money. I was just being patient to get my documents.
Why? Because of your guys or because of your friends that were already making money and they told you the source of...
Obviously, if you're from Nnewi, they don't need to tell you about making money. I'm from Nnewi originally, so we know you have to make it, whether good or bad. You need to make that money. So I got connections from Nnewi.
Oh, so there's an announcement in Nnewi. Let me understand. There's an announcement to say anybody from Nnewi, you must make money, good or bad.
It's a blood thing, you know. You need to be rich. You just have to be rich to belong. If not, you will be totally disrespected in society. So that instinct made me to have this
desire.
Yeah.
To make money. So you didn't care whether it was good or bad. Whether it's just...
I didn't care.
Whether it's selling spare parts.
Not having knowledge is part of the reason. Because if I was educated, I would know that drug has consequences and it's very dangerous to human health. I wouldn't even go there.
We'll come to about the education, because for me, I just think that's not the... I don't think that's the reason, you know, but I understand your own part. But I think maybe it's being informed, like you said. Maybe if you were informed enough, then maybe you would have ventured into it. That whole idea, because we need to, the viewer right now, we need to
know how I get into it.
Yes, because we need to pick.
Okay, when I abandoned that marriage and moved on with my life, I started trafficking. Money started flowing in. And sometimes you come down to Nigeria here, you meet some ladies who really love money, some girlfriends and so on. They want to do drug business. You introduce them into it, and they just go in there, start swallowing cocaine with you, get their visas and everything. And many of them died at the airport.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some of them lose their lives at the airport because when you swallow 1 kilo cocaine or bono soup, you wrap it with condom and all that, 100 grams, to 1 kilo in your stomach. Once you get to the airport, the flight is cancelled. And the next available flight, 1990, that time flight was always cancelling in Nigeria, you know, Alitalia, Airline, KLM, all that. So when you finally, if you have a kilo cocaine in your stomach, and the flight is cancelled, do you see a high degree of nervousness? Yes. Is this nervousness
and it creates heat.
And it will generate heat.
And you melt the condom and you have overdose of...
We've lost so many pretty girls in that way. So the person sitting here talking to you was actually a murderer. I don't have to pick up a gun before you call me a murderer.
Wow.
I've done so many evil. But anyway, that's not just it. When we finally get that drug in UK or in Holland or wherever, there are some young boys from Gambia, Senegal that are doing the hawking. When you give them a kilo cocaine or some Jamaicans, if you give them a kilo cocaine to go and sell for you, like in Peckham, Brixton, Camberwell, all those areas, Southeast London, when they move out there, before coming back, you must be sure that 10 or 12 people have been dropped dead. That's why you hear all this homicide in UK everywhere, in US everywhere. It's because of the evil that we do as drug dealers.
Oh my God.
So these are so many devastating things that people don't know about my dealing. Before God called me, I have caused so much damages. Before that, my encounter, my brother, I'm telling the truth, so many things have been done. If I'm a person who has a very good way of writing books, like my father has really told me now to do that, I'm going to do it. If not for anything, I've not been to school, you would have seen some shocking things on my books, because I'm not going to hide anything when I bring them up, but they will come. So anyway, in the process of all this thing that I'm doing, I hear the voice one day, my son, walk away from what you are doing. I never knew that God would still speak to a sinner like me. I have no clue.
No, because he speak to you.
I have no clue. I thought that God would still speak. I thought he would talk to only people that are
born again.
Thank you, sir. That's the stupidity of the whole thing.
Yes, that's what the devil made you think.
Hearing that voice, I never knew that it was God talking to me. One day I was driving in Stockholm from Uplands Väsby, where I'm living in Stockholm, to the central Stockholm, and I saw my boy carrying 1.5 kilo cocaine standing at the bus stop, because I was supposed to go and give that coin to somebody. I said, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he said that he missed his bus. And I don't want to leave him there and drive off. I felt like that 1.5 kilo could disappear. Anybody can take it. I said, jump into the vehicle. He threw it in the boot and jumped. Little did I know
that you were being trolled.
That I was being monitored by 4 vehicles that have been following me for the past 4 years. And I could pass this vehicle, no knowledge, no idea that they were monitoring me where I'm living in Uplands Väsby. Because Swedish police are not like Nigerian police, where they just, hey, come here, if you see small 1 gram from you, they carry you and put him. No. Sweden, we wait until they get the importer, the dealer. All these people, they get 100 grams from them, they release them, they can just warn you, stay clear. They release you, they keep on trying to bribe you to tell you, them
their source.
who is the
That's-
giver, the person who give them.
yeah, that's the source.
And my boys are very strong. They don't reveal anything. So they keep on seeing the way I drive car, the way I live my life, the girls around me dressing and everything. They know this guy is a bad boy. So they hang around me for 4 good years. On that fateful day, this guy threw that coin in my boot as I was driving on. Bingo. They followed me. When I saw 4 vehicles behind me, I know that it's over.
You knew it was over.
It's over.
Wow.
And then they just stopped. They was a dramatic end anyway, and they arrested me. My 2 hands became one. 9 months in police custody, no single evidence. I was so smart in what I was doing. You know, devil can equip, right?
Yes.
Yeah, devil equipped me
Yeah, of
with
course.
smartness. I did not go to school, but I have the intelligence of crime. And I was in this crime with every serious and every
Actually, the devil did not equip you with smartness. You were already designed smart. You
No,
only took
negatively.
advantage.
I'm talking
You only,
about
you only took advantage of it
Of
and
it.
started using what God has already put on the inside of you.
That's right. That's right. You're right. You're right. So anyway, at the end of all these stories, everything happened that they gave me 15 years in prison.
15 years
Yeah.
imprisonment.
And then I said to myself, how am I going to go through this? All the money I made in drug, the cars, everything, houses, all of them gone. But the most devastating thing is to hear that my father died. For
Oh,
hearing that I'm going to serve 15 years in prison. He died.
oh, shock.
So that pain of killing my father couldn't leave me. So I was in that prison for, I was tortured in the spirit. While I was inside that prison, I began to regret many things. So I pick up a phone and start calling the woman I devastated her life, which is part of the reason why I got in trouble, because what goes around comes. I don't care how you see it. You can go spiritual as you want. Whatever you do in life, it waits for you ahead.
Yes.
So even I did to that woman was start playing up in my head in the prison. That is why I went to jail. What you did to this innocent woman? She spent all her money, came to Nigeria, fight for your papers. Finally, you give her a child. You abandon her with the son, my beautiful son, Chukwuka, my first son, who's 28 years today. I abandoned this woman with this guy and then walked away. No, you pay the price. That's how I spent these horrible years in prison. But inside that prison, I was a brutal person. Fight every day, very annoying.
Yes,
kind of
because you are distraught. So it's like that. Yes, you know.
The agitation was very high.
Yes.
And you know, we are mixed up. I was staying in the biggest, toughest prison in Sweden called Hall, H-A-L-L. It's in Stockholm. Yeah, Hall. It's in Stockholm. And that's where you have the bad boys from South America, from Russia, from Ukraine, from Yugoslavia, everywhere, the toughest guys. So it's like a battle every day. And there's a segregation. So of course, you see Africans on their
On their own side, and
Europe,
of course,
America, they're on their group.
yes.
And we, the African, we know they agree.
Are you a Nigerian?
Very strong. I'm not joking. I was well trained. Everybody were well trained, ready for battle. So if he comes out fight, we never lose fight. That's how I've been.
Even in prison.
Inside prison was a battle. God bear me witness, it was a battlefield. I've sent many people to hospital several times.
Inside prison.
Another day. But at the end of the day, I kept on having that and that knowledge in me. That there's something not right. About this life I'm living, is that what God called me to do? I don't even know who God. I was born in Anglican. My mom tried to go to church. I sing in the church, in Holy Innocent Church. I was a choir member, but I don't know who I was singing for.
You were in church but didn't know
I
Christ.
didn't know who
So
Christ
it's possible to be in church and not know the Jesus.
know him.
Yeah, yes, because that thing is a good one here, because a lot of people also don't know Jesus, don't know the Holy Spirit, but they've been in church for many years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Every time you see me acting, you thought I'm a this wonderful guy or something like that. There was another motive behind. So I was carrying 2 faces. But at the end, those 2 faces were revealed, and then God took his stance. So while I was inside that prison, getting to 8 years, I had a dramatic turn. That's when I encountered Jesus Christ.
In prison?
Yes, I was inside my cell room, lying down on my bed. You know, in our prison in Sweden, you have your room, very beautiful room. You have your TV, you have your laptop.
Really? In prison?
Oh, no. I can tell you this without being careful. Swedish prison rooms are more beautiful than many of our rooms here in Lagos.
Please don't encourage people to go to prison.
No, I'm not encouraging. If you go there, you lose your freedom. There's nothing you can compare with freedom. If you lose your freedom, you are gone. You will be destroyed mentally, because that's what almost happened to me. You can have all those TV and everything, but what about the freedom? Every Christmas, you'll be hearing the sound of knockout. You can't come out.
Wow.
You'll be remembering the celebration in the weddings and every event.
Yes.
And the money you have in the bank, That torture alone can psychologically destroy you.
That's true.
So anybody who wants to try, they are welcome. Go and try. You see what you're going to get from it.
Yes.
I don't encourage crime at all. The purpose of sharing this testimony is people to learn from me.
Of course.
The good side and bad side I'm about to say here, but there's nothing good about crime at all.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, finally, I got this call. I got this video I was watching. I was indulged in what do you call this thing? Masturbation.
Of course.
Masturbation heavily.
Yes.
Heavily. I was chronic masturbator. And in my wall was all pornography magazine all over because that's what you look at to masturbate. That's where you get your
imagination.
Yeah. So as I was doing that rubbish, one day I was just there watching animal pornography, very dirty. Something happened. I reacted. My elbow hit remote control. That's how my TV changed to God's channel. I've never tuned to God's channel ever before.
Wow.
It showed up. I can tell you this without being careful. Anybody who is watching me, wherever you are, if you say there is no Christ, please get in touch with me. I will tell you, I will give you evidence that there is Christ. Do you know that channel changed to God's channel without anything? And I saw the man saying, that's Creflo Dollar Jr. in Atlanta. He was saying, renew your mind or you will die. Don't touch that. It was like warning me.
Directly.
I got goose pimple all over my body.
Wow.
Do you know that that room was saturated with smoke? That was when I knew that the glory of God can even come to a home of a sinner.
Of course.
I never knew that.
Of course.
So the whole place was smoked up. I couldn't see the magazines, the pornography magazines on the wall anymore. My tongue was wagging without knowing what I was saying. That's what we call speaking in tongue. But I didn't have a clue what speaking in tongue is. As that was happening, my whole body was shaking. Do you know, for complete 3 days, I was in that room without going out. Fear gripped me. I jumped from my bed, tear down all the pornography magazines in my room, the videos, everything, threw them in the bin. 3 days no coming out. So the prison warders became worried if I'm going psychological damaged. They come sometimes, they say, get out from my room. If you want to come and get out from my room, I don't want to see anybody. 3 good days. Finally, it dawned in me that was encounter with Christ. Jesus Christ. I asked them for Bible. They gave me a Bible. So they have Bibles in service if you want to give it to you. And I started to just opening and reading. The first place I encountered was Isaiah 61, 1-3. I stopped. He said, go and open prison gate to them that are bound, giving them beauty for ashes. And I call it. It showed me clearly the calling has for me. That's when I knew that it was Christ working out something for me without having any knowledge. You know, the Bible that I couldn't even read, the Bible
came clear to you.
It came clear. When I read translation come direct, I got my clarification immediately. After some days inside that prison, I hear them knock the gate. Boo, boo, boo. I say, who is that? He said, Christian. He said, the warders, they opened the door. They said that you have to go, that they have given you state pardon.
Wow. State
pardon under what? This what comes in my mind. I didn't ask the question. I said, under what condition? I've beaten people off. I have girlfriends every weekend that come to sleep with me in the prison. Every time. My second son was born inside the prison.
The second son?
Yeah, Chidi, who also was a basket player, was born inside that prison. So
by a Nigerian or?
No, a white lady, a Swedish lady. Because you know that when you're in jail, they go to newspaper, checking hard guys there. They come and visit them, you know.
You know, that's their own fun.
Their girls love hard boys, you know. So they think that we are bad guys. They always come to visit. So I had a lot of illegal sexual acts and all that we were doing inside the prison. So I got a child in one of this issue. And that child now is apostle, actually, a very wonderful pastor, a man of God.
Wow.
Wonderful. But that's a different story. I'm going to tell you more about him. Let's see if there's time for it. So anyway, in a few days down the line, another person come again and said to me, Christian, you have to go home. I say, what again? I send the person out. Then there's one particular girl.
They came to tell you to go home, but you refused to go home. I refused
to leave because I don't believe that. I thought they want to assassinate me because I've been a troublemaker. So how could they set me free? I still have 7 years to go. Sweden doesn't do pardon. So where's the pardon coming from?
Wow.
And I haven't encountered God the way. If I would have known what you guys know in Dominion City, I wouldn't go through what I'm going through.
Wow.
Seriously.
You saw your freedom and you're afraid of freedom.
I'm afraid of it. Because embrace it. So at the end of this story, see, my brother, God is wonderful and He's so merciful in all His ways. I am the one He truly helped.
Wow.
Sometimes I get emotional when I talk about things that He did for me, which I'm not qualified. The person sitting with you is grace. Epitome of grace. That's why it's sitting here. And this lady came. I love this girl so much. I was planning I'm going to come out to marry her. This girl is so pretty, a Swedish girl. We are very close. If I need smuggling things, she's the one that smuggled my phones, whatever I need in the prison. Yeah, I'm opening it up to you now.
Of course.
Yeah. And then this lady, she came in, said, Chris, you have to go. That you are free. That's when it dawned on me that it's true, because this girl so much want my freedom too.
Like Peter. Yeah, when the angel came to free Peter, the Bible said that Peter did not even know that until. So
when this girl spoke to me, I said, "Oh wow, that's true." I said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yes." They gave me my Swedish passport, my Nigerian passport, and then bring the document. I signed the document, and then I moved. When I got out of that prison, I wasn't still sure. I was worried. I was passing, looking at the tower, whether they want to shoot me. I was just moving with fast. With this anxiety and the fear,
and uncertainty.
Uncertainty. And then when I finally got to taxi that would take me home, that's when I busted in tears. I knew what God did. And I pick up my phone and I start calling all my friends. Every of my friend that I called.
That's your drug dealer.
We were 8 bad guys then, that were doing serious drug business. And 7 of them were all outside. When I call anyone, the wife would be crying. My wife died. My husband died 7 years ago. My husband died 6 years ago. My dear.
When you say died, did they die naturally or because they shot them? Okay,
drug war is battle. Anything drug business is
7 out of 8 of you, 7.
The only one alive.
You are the only one alive today.
Yes, sir.
You must really be
in
special.
that very car, I started crying and shouting. The driver said, "What's the problem?" I said, "Just focus, drive." Do you know why I was crying? I was crying because of the money I would have made. The money. I wasn't crying because of the dead, because I've seen dead bodies. I've been in drug. I've been seeing people dying steady. So it's not a new thing. But the people that owe me there and some other thing, because I've lost everything I had.
So you thought my hope, that when you come out, you get back from them.
So that was my tears. So I wasn't really born again. I was born again somehow, but not fully born again. Because there's no discipleship yet. I'm not discipled. So I got into that pain, and that pain was excruciating. What do I do? And then the voice of the Lord came again inside that vehicle, my second time of encountering Jesus Christ. He said to me, "My son, I purposely killed them in order to use you." I turn again. I look around. I said, "Am I hearing clearly?" That was when the tears dried up. My dear, I left home, go home, I hear the voice direction, move away from here because of peer pressure. I moved from Sweden, not up to a few days. I left my 2 sons there. That time I have 2 sons from 2 white ladies. I moved from that place to London. Started a new life. Getting to London, no job. I couldn't get any job. Anywhere you apply for job, the criminal record is very clear.
Even with the Swedish...
you can't get a job. My Swedish passport.
Okay, because of the EU thing.
Criminal record is there. Everything in EU, they were all recorded. Unless now UK have detached themselves. Although my criminal record has been cleared off. You can't see it in the system because after 10 years, Swedish wipe it off, So I moved into UK and I tried to find a job. I couldn't get a job. I resolved in driving taxi. Big boy with big cars and everything, you become a taxi driver. When God wants to set a man up, first humble you.
And
that humility comes from crippling everything that give you ego. Whatever that make you so full of yourself, you will break it down completely. And God took me from that high horse, broke me down completely, leveled me, and then put me in a place where I could be able to listen. I begin to listen to tapes. At the time, I never know who the P is. This is my father. I don't know him. I was just listening to my Domwem, Michael Smith and all that, Danny Check and all that. Just worship all the time and listen to some few messages. Driving taxi, making contact, sharing my testimonies, in the taxi. So I became an evangelist automatically.
As a taxi
driver. So anybody who enters my taxi must hear my testimony. You don't have choice. If you refuse, you're going down. I'm going to just release you. You go. I don't want any trouble. It's my car. It's not yours.
Wow. So you became an evangelist from that point.
Yes, sir.
And that is because you are because of the encounters
I had with Christ in prison. Without training, evangelist. There's one thing I know about this evangelistic work. If you can that story that say, once I was blind, now I can see.
Yes.
And you ask yourself, who made you to see? You point everyone to Christ. You're an evangelist. That was my belief. And it works very well for me. I won so many souls in UK. I was doing that until one day I met one lady, get married. We have 5 children in London, and they're making my children 7. That marriage died. I don't want to tell you that God purposely let it die. I won't say that. I won't say that because, you know, the marriage actually was not really legally set up. It wasn't legal marriage. It was out of she's so pretty. I just love her. In the same day, before you know, with pregnancy, before you know it, we just start misbehaving. So finally, that marriage died after 8 years. That's my second 8 years imprisonment.
Wow. I'm going to, this is, Evangelist Christian, you are loaded with so much testimonies. But guess what? Because of where we are right now, we'll go for a break. When we come back, we'll now hear about Christian's marital life, because it seems like he's involved in so many things and God has been using him to do a lot of things. Don't go anywhere. Just sit back, relax.
Some people don't know why they've been going around circles. Get control of your tongue. You can get control of this year, 2025. Get control of your tongue and your future will be in your hand. When your emotion is misbehaving, don't talk. When you get it under control again, that's when you can open that your mouth. Because listen, Jesus said, it is not what people eat that come out of the toilet that defies a man. It is what comes out of people's mouths. It is your words that makes you a dirty person.
Order your copy of Dr. David Ogweli's latest book, The Laws of Proper Speech. You can rule your word with your words. Your speech determines what you attract and what you repel. Also available on Amazon. Order your copy now with this QR code.
This is Gmtv.
Welcome back to One-on-One on Gmtv. My name is Dr. Gabi Okonji, and I'm right here with Evangelist Christian Chukwuka. And it seemed like this was just an ordinary joke or just a tale from one of the Nollywood stories, like I earlier stated. But indeed, it's getting interesting. It's now entering into love life and family. This man truly is loaded with so much experience from different dimensions. From a humble background, the desperate desire to make it, an unlearned and unschooled man who all he just wanted was a better life. And in the journey of a better life led him into criminality. And then from criminality, led him into being in prison. And in prison, now having an encounter, different from every other person's encounter. Of course, on the show, you've had people say God deals with every one of us differently. He grants us different experiences. And indeed, his is one of it. And right now, where we are at this point is his transition. Moving out of getting a free get out of jail card, and with disbelief, like Peter, now heading towards serving the Lord, but still making mistakes. Evangelist Christian. So now, before the break, you told us about your experiences. You had already begun the evangelistic work, but then you were not trained, like you said, not discipled. We're going to come to that, what discipleship does. And you got into another marriage that failed. This is the second time.
Yes.
And this time, this marriage produced 5 children.
Yes, sir.
So tell us again, this marriage, was it also a Caucasian as usual? Because you think you have a thing for white women.
Okay. This very one, I would like to do some segregation on it. I wouldn't like to speak so much because, children are very sensitive.
Yes.
And there are so many disputes on that very marriage and all that. You know how UK is.
Yes.
The truth is that I wrongly stepped into marriage unqualified. Came out from prison, jumped into marriage because I saw a pretty girl. That was where my mistake is from.
This particular case
qualifies that, yeah. Then they get children involved in it, and at the end of the day, it didn't work out. I wouldn't say God let it go that way. I would say that my mistake sought me out again. I put me in that mess again, and I went through it. And after, I'm the one that filed the divorce myself. But let's just leave the thing that happened there, because in that same marriage, I was locked up in police station in London over 7 times, about 8 times, I believe. You know, the way marriage in London is, when you have an argument with your wife, they will turn to domestic violence immediately.
She can report
there was no laying hand or anything, but I mean, just that you have an altercation, you are gone. They will put you in prison, in police station. Then the next day they will leave you. There's just detention to be down. It's more of like their rules.
Okay.
And it's the man that has to go. So 7 times I've been in Plumstead police station. And the 8th time they couldn't lock me in, but there was an interference by the police station, by the police. And then that's how it goes. Then after a while, I said, it's not what I'm going to continue doing. I need to find a way to move on. I chose the path of divorce. I chose myself. Yeah. Though she didn't want to sign it, but I mean, there's a period you wait for it until it comes.
Okay, we'll not dwell on that. Just for reasons that we're on a direction. Yeah. Now, with all of this experience, where are you now? Because when did you make that? Because you mentioned discipleship and you said you're not met the P. So at what point did you now, make the decision?
When that marriage died, I had no choice than to just move on with my life. So I heard the voice and direction very clear from God. Say, move back to Nigeria. I will tell you what to do. And that time, I pick up phone. I didn't hesitate because, when if bee sting you, if you see fly, you will run. So based on what I've gone through, I don't want to disobey God again. Any tiny voice, God, that comes, I take it serious. I don't wait for the second voice, which usually the devil voice. Yeah? I don't wait. Once I hear,
you move.
And I say, move to Nigeria and I'll bring you a word. 2013, 23rd January, I got the only one seat left in British Airways that day. I called them and then they have a seat for me and then I moved. Pick up my things. And at the airport, I told my ex that you're not going to see me again. I'm gone. And that's it. I meant it. I landed in Nigeria here at Murtala Muhammed Airport. I hear the voice clearly again. You will go to all the prisons in Nigeria, Africa, and then I will tell you what next.
Wow. So was at the airport, Murtala Muhammed Airport,
I got the instruction. Pick me up as I just came out from that Murtala Muhammed Airport. I heard this voice clear. And I was sharing with my brother inside the car. See, look at what I heard. But my fear is, how do I start? What do a man who cannot speak grammar? Coordinated grammar.
Yes, no connection.
You don't have knowledge, no discipleship, nothing. What am I going to do? And I started to argue with myself, not with God. And I hear that still voice again. If you open your mouth, I will feel it. That's when my journey started. And then I came down here. That weekend, my brother told me about DP.
Wow.
Because my brother was more like a very good friend of Pastor, our
David,
father.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Right from Enugu.
Wow.
And then he told me about him and all that, said that you have this zeal that DP have and all that kind of thing. After that, so because of that, I heard about Dominion City. I didn't know anything about Dominion City. Then on Sunday, I walked into our Protea church. That time it was Pastor IQ Chendu there and Mommy Sarah was there that day. During the testimony time, I came out boldly to share testimony. As I share this brief of this testimony, when I'm done, about to leave, Mommy saw me when I was leaving the door. Our Mommy Sarah,
yes.
She saw me when I was leaving the door. Asked somebody to run after me and brought me and sent me to Daddy. Person caught me on the door, said that Mommy said I should come back. I came. It's okay, go to Daddy's in the office. That that our office at Lekki, Marwa side. What's the name of that? I forgot the name of that student. That's where Daddy had his office.
Yes, Lekki Phase 1, yes.
Yeah. So I went to the office, drove down there, and then waited for people to come and came. I walked in. When P saw me, I sat down, and then we greeted, and he asked me my name and everything. I told him what happened, how Mommy said I should come and see him.
Yes.
I shared the testimony. P normally now it was like, wow. Well, the way he's,
yes.
And then after sharing all my testimony, he stood up. And there's this, what do you call it, library behind him, the bookshelf here, behind him.
Yes.
And the P, my father started bringing down the books from the shelf.
Yes.
I thought he wanted to like show me something inside the books.
Yes.
Yeah. When he picked all those books down, a heap of books, he said, carry all this book and go and start reading them.
Wow.
Jewish code is there. You know, if you just think about any book, P book.
Yes.
Yeah?
He gave you all of it.
He gave me all of, and the person
That's
who
how
was giving
pastor
the book
is.
has no knowledge of reading whatsoever. And I hate reading like passion. I have never finished a book in my whole life. God can bear me witness. When you give me a book, it's like you're giving me a big
tax.
I don't know. So, and I look at those books, I was like, does this man really understand that I did not go to school? And you know, P don't care whether you go to school or you must go and study. If you want to be close to him, you need to have the knowledge.
Yes.
So I packed those books and he said, I have to go to Lantan. There's one bookshop. He said, I should go and buy one small marriage book as well. There's one tiny book, you know. I went and looked for that book. It's just very few pages. That few pages, I couldn't stay finish it, even though it's few pages.
Yes.
So I started to pray, God, what is this? That is how P took over from there. He noticed the faults in me, the stubbornness, you know, and this little stupid pride. You know, there's some certain pride you have when you have European passports.
Yes.
You know, this kind of thing. He started breaking those characters. Breaking those characters.
Wow.
There's one particular day we have a pastor's meeting here. He told me things to do, and I said otherwise. He called me he said, you're a very big fool. When he said I'm a very big fool, when I walk on the road, I remember that name, I was calling myself fool. He said, you know, you just walk me head, I'm a fool, I'm a fool. That's how strong his word was. And those words shaped me.
So, but it continued to mean that an insult. It doesn't mean that he's a fool.
No.
He was trying to address.
Father. He's just a father. You listen to what we were saying yesterday.
Yes.
I was connecting because I know exactly what father is.
Yes.
So finally, P took over, reshaped my life completely, you know, guide me, bring me time to time to the office in VGC and give me, educate me, encourage me on how to go about my marital life and everything. You know, he became a father so close. That's how my life transformed. Every meeting, both in Abuja, everywhere I was attending. And then
So that's your discipleship process began.
Yes, sir. Then he encouraged me to start up. That's how I started going to prisons to go and visit prisoners. And my first outreach was in Kirikiri Medium Prison. Over 3,000 prisoners, and 512 of them gave their life to Christ.
Wow, 3,500 prisoners gave their life to Christ on your first outreach.
No, 500 and something gave their life to Christ on that day because they didn't open all the whole 3,000 something. So the ones they opened, almost all of them, both Muslims.
Wow.
So the encouragement came. And in that faithful day, when P sanction say go and do this thing, there's a power and anointing that goes with that.
Yes, because when you are sent, there's an anointing that follows the sending.
Because of what he said, nobody carry camera to Nigerian prison except me today. I'm not boasting. Go and check. I have over 1,000 videos on social media from prison. Redeem, everybody, they go there, say no. They say, what about evangelists? His videos everywhere. The officer in Abuja will say, we don't know what you're talking about. It's because of the word P spoke over my life, the way he blessed me and anointed me to move. And so many times, people could take this laying hand of P for like a casual thing. No, it's not. Even just, if P say, God bless you, you are made completely. If he texts you, God bless you, just take it like that.
So that's because of your discipleship that it's important that for you to fulfill the purpose of God, there's certain things, there's certain persons and certain instructions that you must follow.
Yeah.
And some of these instructions, even though God can give it directly, God also sends these instructions through men. Yes.
Yeah.
And once you follow the instructions as God has given, directed them, because the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1, he said, follow me as I follow Christ. This is Paul now talking to the Corinthian church. So that's that. And I love the way you are talking about it, and that you saying, talking about how you have entered into discipleship to help you, bring you to where you are.
And his corrections are not that easy. When he corrects you, you will feel the impact. Yes,
that's the impact of fatherhood.
Ben was talking last night again, I feel everything because I have been there. I know when impact correct. And you know, and if you ever think you know something, come near him, you will find out that you are a very big fool. Seriously. I realized my foolishness when I came near him, and he began to help me. Now I can correct myself. I don't speak anyhow in public. I don't act anyhow.
Wow.
My new marriage, my current marriage, there's so much respect in it. Before, I don't know what to respect for women. BP made me to know all this. There's so many things I could say. I could take a whole day or 2 days to talk about me and P. Without me being so close like all of you, seriously. But yet I'm close.
Yes.
Because I have I have fear for
reverential fear.
Sorry, I'm not joking.
Yes.
I don't just...
And because this is the example that God has given. God gives men for examples. You say we are the epistles. So you are not wrong when you say, because if you have reverence for God, then you have reverence for His constituted authority. That's what it means. So having reverence for P is not P you are referencing. You are referencing the authority that God placed on him. And so that's fine. Now, just to fast forward a little bit. Now, the foundation, I know, is Evangelist Christian.
Abounding Grace Foundation.
Abounding Grace.
Abounding Grace Foundation.
Yes. Abounding Grace Foundation. And it's into prisons
and youths and schools.
And how old is the foundation right now?
It's about 11 years now. 11 years.
And you've been to how many prisons?
258 prisons and over 200 schools.
Wow, 258 prisons within Nigeria, Africa, and the world. Africa.
Yeah, Africa and Nigeria.
So share some of the experiences in some of these prisons, the kind of inmates you meet.
One of my experiences is this, that I became so bold, number one, to start with,
Yes.
Boldness, which I got from my spiritual father, Reverend David Obueli.
Yes.
You know, the P, when he speaks, there's something about him. So that's why you see me always start to sit in front of the chair. I want to absorb everything.
Yeah.
And whatever I need to connect with money, I go straight to the box and drop that money. I don't want to sit behind to avoid distractions. That front. I pick so much from him. And that has helped me so much. I entered several prisons where nobody can even speak to the inmates. Death sentences. When I enter inside the way I talk to them like as if they're my children or something like that.
Yes.
And so many life change. There's one encounter I have in Benin, Edo State Prison, White House Prison, Benin.
White House. They call it White House.
Yeah, that's the name of the White House Prison, Benin. I went to that prison. They have 29 death sentence, They've been there for 20-something years, 30 years, 28 and all that. I said, I want to go into the place to speak to them. Say, nobody goes there. That place is just a confined place for only death row. I said, no, I want the DCP officer in charge say no. I said no. We argued for some time. Finally, they opened me to go in there. I entered there. One word that followed me. They said, no, one is not enough. They bring another word again. I say, you guys don't need to go. We need to speak like men to men and men, you know.
Yes.
Do you know, those that they have chains on their leg and everything, they release them. We all sat there and have a fellowship so powerful. I have the video of what I'm telling you.
We're going to
I'll give you some videos. I interviewed them, asked them questions. I found out that many of them are not even deadly as they thought. I was more deadlier than them.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
They are just nice people that victims of circumstances.
Yes. Wrong values.
Them said that they are there because they accuse them of ritual. A brother and a sister that was there 19 years on a waiting trial. They have not been to court. I have the videos. I have all. I'm sending you these details, and you see some of them that are there because they babbing here. Somebody stole a car, come to the place and park it and bab here and drove off. They said they saw the car there. That's how this boy end up in death.
Wow. So
there's so many issues that I can brought out that came out from that place. So I began to pray. And that prayer was answered, but I don't know if I should say good or bad. After some time, there was a jailbreak and all these guys disappeared in Benin. I don't know. I don't know if that's God or not, but all I know is, I pray for the freedom of those that are innocent. For those that are innocent.
Yes.
Then there was also boldness in the time I entered Oko prison in Benin as well, when in the airport road. Something happened there. One Ahmed Musa, which they tortured with something on the penis. They put something on his penis to torture him to confess crime he did not do. The boy was about to die. I forced them to hand that boy over to me. I spent 2018 or 17. I spent about 80,000 naira or 112 for that to save this boy's life. And after a strong fight, battle before they released that guy for me. And after that, they released the guy. He went back to Kanu. And so many things that, some things that I did that I never believed I could do because of my encounter with Pastor David Obueli. The word he spoke over my life, the impartation, laying hands, and the spoken words. He transformed me completely. And illiterate, I couldn't make proper sentences. Things changed.
Yes.
Yes, you can still see grammar error, but I have boldness. I don't care how many grammar error you saw.
No, but you're delivering the word. If not, it's not. You see, that's the thing. I don't want us to stay on that because that's not it. Because Jesus Christ didn't even speak English. So Jesus Christ spoke Aramaic. So it's not about that. The point is that once you have the Holy Ghost and you're right at the center of your assignment, everything will work.
Yes.
Yes. So that's why, how do the blind and the deaf hear? Is it not by signs? Is it not the spoken word? Like Pastor just released a book, The Law of Proper Speech. So it's knowing the right word, knowing the right intention. It's from your heart when you speak it out. A quick one. You were giving us some things. What is the most because you have seen a lot of things. So to say what's the most shocking thing is, I think it's an understatement. But then, in this journey, now that you are into prison ministry, outreach properly, and I see a lot of videos, I see a lot of work. I remember, I think it's Lagos State. I remember one of your videos some years ago. You had it online and I watched it, where you went to Lagos prison and you prayed, what is the female word? As you prayed for them and you prophesied that I think 3 of them will be released, even where they were on life. And all of a sudden, the next time we saw that those people, 3 of those ladies or so were released, surprisingly
This is norm. It's like normal now. Every prison I go, when I speak, exactly those things I speak happen because of the knowledge and understanding I have from what my father is teaching us.
Yes.
I don't hesitate to prophesy if it comes. But if not, I don't make it up. If I hear that so number of person will go home from this prison, I will say it, and exactly that number.
So which one shocked you? That's the one I want to know.
One of my biggest shock actually in the prison yard, it was one of 500. We had that time was during Rochas regime in Owerri. We had a crusade, a very major crusade. There were about 512 of them that genuinely repented. And I stood and I declared their freedom. Seriously. If you see that video of those boys, when I went back to that prison, few months down the line, all of them, none of them remain in that prison.
None of them. 500.
I tried to find them. I couldn't find. I have the video of those boys that came out that day. They were weeping, crying. You see, there was a manifestation, diverse manifestation. God did wonders. I have them covered. So
500.
You see, those guys that gave both the ones inside the cell that genuinely repented, they got pardoned. There was a serious pardon, where
yes,
many of them went home. And there's so many other things. But one of my other shocking testimony that I don't like to share so that people will not have fear is the encounters on the road. Because I used to drive a lot when I'm going for mission.
Yes.
And I encountered these armed robbers both in Awuchi and in Abo 2 times.
Armed robbers?
Yes.
Okay, before you go, because it's very interesting.
Okay.
I told you, we're in for a lot to hear from Evangelist Christian. This is one man who has experienced the dark side, served Satan, and now he's serving God. And he's in the same passion. Even now he's telling the story, you could feel the passion, you could see the reality. No make-believe, no film tricks. These are all real life stories. And I'm very, very keen. I'm believing that you two are also very keen. But was going for the break. When we come back, we'll hear his experience with the life criminals. It's not that in the prison, it's even before prison. Don't go anywhere. This is One-on-One with Gmtv.
This is Gmtv.
Welcome back. This is One-on-One on Gmtv. And my guest, Evangelist Christian Chukwuka, is a man with so much experience. He's a full epistle, like Paul would say. Epistle of all dimension. And we've heard a lot about his prison experience and where he is right now in ministry. And before the break, he was about to tell us his experience on the journey, on the road. He encountered, not just encountering already convicted criminals, he encountered them live in action. Evangelist Christian.
Thank you, sir.
Before the break, you told us that some of your experiences are on your journey on the way. You mentioned particular locations where you actually encountered armed robbers. Tell us your story.
Okay, I was, there's this zeal, when you say the zeal consumes me, there's this zeal of anywhere that I just got the direction, especially when P had a program and he lay hand on me or he spoke to me or, encouraged me, or when I go to lay seed at his feet and he prayed for me, there's this boldness that just come upon me. So I moved straight out to mission. And then on that fateful day I was driving, it was my brother's EFCC vehicle 406 Peugeot. I was driving down to Auchi prison, On passing Ebuman side, just driving there, I don't know the name of those villages very well, but then these guys, they came out with camera. And they pull out their gun immediately and they were all pointing at me. To jump out of the car, they're speaking, of course, they are Fulani. They are not, their language show that they are Fulani people. And then immediately I came out from the car. He said, wait, you evangelist, who? Evangelist.
Are you serious?
Yes, yeah, I was this. Yes. He said, no, we saw you, Pauchi prison. Go. I said, no, why are you then back in crime? He said, nobody could help. Nobody want to help them.
Wow.
So I enter my car, open the pigeonhole, the 74,000 naira that I had all then. I put it out from the envelope and I could bring them together and they bend their head, they hold their gun, put their guns in the car there, and then I gave them the money, prayed again, I said, please stop. Many of them stopped. That day they put their gun, went back. And
Jesus Christ.
How did they continue later? I couldn't get the contact again because they didn't give me their numbers. They were afraid maybe I will snitch
on them.
But they said that they are going now to go and start small. That's important that I changed the equation.
74,000.
74,000 that I had in my...
How many of them? 4 of them?
4 of them, I gave it to them.
Wow.
And they left.
Wow.
My second encounter again was in Agbo. Because I travel alone then,
Yes.
I didn't have
your team. You didn't have your team, yes.
I just do things myself.
Yes.
In Agbo prison, this happened again. And these same guys again, they are these bad guys, yeah?
The same,
not the same people, but the same tribe.
Yes.
Yeah? They came out there again, they stopped me with another car. There's one Mercedes, modern Mercedes car they use, and they stopped me. And then they look at me again. That one of them again was shouting, I know you. I know you.
They are the ones now identifying
me. They know me. They say that I've come to Gwashuku prison. I said, yes, I'm evangelist. I'm going now to Ibn Abo prison. He said, go, you're a good man. We forgive you, Walai. We forgive you. Go. And
wow.
I don't have much money with me. I say, why are you still? They say, go. Idea, I have to, because the guns are still in their hands. Because when God gives you a chance to go, you go. I didn't want to push it like the other ones.
Yes.
I left. This thing doesn't stop me from going to prison. I kept on driving. I still do my mission.
Wow.
I'm 58 years old now. I'm a little bit tired, so I don't really drive much. I have some people.
So you have your team people now.
That's one of them. And then one of my sweetest encounter was an innocent girl in Edo State called Joy Ojo. This girl had 3 children outside marriage. The daddy came back one day, was asking her why all this insult and disgrace, and start beating this girl. She's running around the whole family there. The man was pushing, locked the whole door, pursuing this girl, beating her. The man fell and hit his head on the table. He went to the hospital. After a month, he died. This girl was put on death row. When I came in that place and I saw the series of this girl videos on my social media, I have them, I can give them videos. Her name is Joy Ojo, and I interviewed every step we took until I got out of the prison.
Wow.
I followed up fully, spent millions on the case, I'm not joking, and I got out of the place because she don't deserve to die. I hate injustice. I have this DNA of our father,
yes.
Yes. I felt like this girl deserved to live. Then, you know what we did? The first step was to go and find out how to get a good lawyer. The first lawyer I gave money, swallowed my money, didn't do anything. I started praying. I said, this is not a lawyer thing. I need to find help from God. That's when this woman, the chief, I will mention her name, Professor Yinka Omoregbe. That was the Edo State Chief of Justice.
Chief Judge.
Chief Judge, yeah, she was in charge then. Very wonderful lady. Her PA saw my video and showed it to her. See Edo girl singing, don't leave me, Jesus, don't leave me. When my name is for remember me, that kind of song.
Yes.
The woman was watching the song, it was so emotional, and it was inside Ubiaja prison, and they saw the video, you see Ubiaja inside prison, and with this beautiful girl singing. Who is this girl? That touched the Chief Justice, and Chief Justice said, "Give me the contact of the guy, of this, the owner of the video." Okay. That's how they locate my contact, and they called me, and the Chief Justice said to me, "Who is that girl?" I said, "She's from Ekbuma. That they threw her inside jail because she has no one to fight for her. I'm trying to help her." "And who are you, sir?" He said, "I'm the Chief Justice of Edo State, Minister of Justice or whatever, Edo State, Professor Professor Yinka Moregbe." That's her name. And he said, "Okay, what do you want me to do for you?" I said, "Please, man, release her." He said, "If I release her, what will you do with her?" "I will take care of her with her 3 children. I will pay for house for them in Lagos, train her." And she said, "Do you have resources for that?" I said, "Yes." "What's your name?" "Christian Chukwuka." He said, "Igbo man doing this?" I said, "Yes, we do more than that. Just that people don't want to see the good side of us." And she said, "Okay, when are you coming to Edo State?" I told her that I can come in. That was COVID period. So it's okay. He wrote me a text message. I used that message to go to police station, get this pass for interstate.
Yes.
Because that time you can't drive out.
Yes.
So they gave me a pass for interstate. I took some few people, my wife, everybody. We drove down to Edo State, lodged in a hotel, spoke to the woman. She asked me, "Okay, come to Ubiaja prison the next day." We drove down to Ubiaja prison. The woman drove with his team, with the legal team to Ubiaja. It's okay. They brought Joe brought all the other illegal people that are packed up there that I was complaining about, and he started interviewing every one of them. And then he called me again and said, "Is this thing, do you think that she's saying the truth?" I said, "Ma'am, judge yourself. She's saying the truth." It's okay. "You want me to release her for you, right?" I said, "Yes." She signed the knowledge prosecute. You know the way you know what they say.
Yes.
And something she just wrote that place and then gave me that letter. I gave the lawyer and everything. I said, "Go to the court and ask court to open." That time court, everything was shut down. The woman asked the court to open. And they opened the next day, released that girl, that same day, released that girl, gave that girl to us. Other people set them free. I have the video where she's coming out from the court, crying, kneeling down, hugging the children. I can send you all these details. They are there.
Yeah.
The thing about my ministry is that God gave me the possibility to be able to pick details.
That's your assignment. So I
have over 8 terabytes of videos concerning prison alone. By special grace of God in different DVs, so I don't lose them. Different drives. So this very girl was one of the encounters that made my social media blow up. That girl case was very popular then, before Facebook started fighting my details. And then she followed us. We took her to Lagos. I paid her house 1.something million naira, buy bed, buy gas, cook everything. We have all the videos of them. Then she lived with us after a while then before she moved on with her own life now.
Wow, it's very interesting.
So many of them.
But we have been calling money and calling money. Of course, ministry demands money, and people just think that if it's God will just come down. God doesn't touch money. He provides through men. And you said, you used 1.5 million naira to get her a house and all of those things. And you also mentioned the trouble paying for the hotel with your wife, all of those things. How do you fund it? Are you back into drugs that you make money to fund the gospel?
To be very honest, sometimes I say, "God, I wish you permitted me to do more some drug business so I get some money. That because what I need for this mission is serious money.
Yes.
But I don't have that. Someone asked me to sell everything I had.
Yes.
I sold my properties in Newland and all that.
Yes.
So that's the money I'm using to fund myself.
Yes.
But after a while, it finishes. Then friends start donating. My social media handle. That's where I get some support.
So that means you get support from people. Okay, now I'm going to give you the platform right now. So because what you're doing is benevolent work. Now speak to the camera and then your camera here, and then let's see how we can do some fundraising for this work, because I know that this work, the truth is that if you have never been to the prison, not that you go to prison, if you have never been there to visit, because there are 3 places Jesus said, I was in prison, he didn't visit me, I was in hospital. These are requirements to be a disciple. So prison ministry is important. We just think it's just visit prison and go off. There is a lot. There's a lot. And of course, I'll also, because you talked about the lawyer, in fact, do you have a lawyer that works with you? If not, maybe after the show, there is a group of lawyers also who also do free advocacy. And maybe we'll talk about it and get them to work with you. But if there's any lawyer out there that is also in that, take advantage of that. That's your camera. Then the funding, people tend to want to do it. Maybe they cannot go to prisons, but they want to go there because there are a lot of people who are in prison who are not supposed to be in prison. Yes. I have a case of somebody who came out of the Edo State prison and walked into, he came to service one of those days and I was preaching. And I was preaching on purpose. And he said he has never heard about purpose after 45 years. He's late now, but he got saved from that. He walked with me for some time and we lost him but to an accident anyway. Now he's in heaven, at least he's not. And he was in prison for 4 years for no reason. Yes. So we understand where you are. So let's get people to,
Wow.
to work
Thank
with
you for that opportunity.
Yes.
It's a great opportunity I don't take for granted. But first, before I say that, then just permit me again to appreciate my father for what he has done in my life. He has really announced Abounding Grace Foundation heavily during combined services and encounter camp meetings, etc. He has done so much, and I've gotten so much favor from people. One of the favor is that somebody in the prison saw me when I was having a Zoom meeting, and he said he had been watching me on TV, on Dominion City TV, and so on. My father talk about me, and then he said that he heard me talking on my Zoom meeting that I don't have a house in Lagos. I said, yeah, but is that a big deal? He said, no, I just think that in a woman doing all this, you have spent over 800 million naira in prisons and you don't have a house in Lagos, you're paying rent and you're asking people for your rent to support you with the rent. I said, yes, I did, but that's the way it is. It's okay, go and look for land. And that was the period I put a small seed in my father's hand. And he spoke a word to me and he said that you will own a house. You know the way he speaks. Just a simple word. There was not too much prayer. And once he said that, this guy located me and he called me and said, go and look for land. When I went out there to go and look for land, I will find a land that cost with something million naira. He paid for the land. And the house was under 5 months. A very beautiful house. I'm not joking. 6-bedroom duplex. Near Terranes here in Lagos. A very good site. Estate. Gated estate. And then, not that Newe as well. Not 3 months, few boys in the Newe built me a house there. So 2 6-bedroom. And this comes from my side, just making a seed contact. And what happened recently, just this January, the first minute of the 2025, I was holding my phone with my bank app ready. As Mpa was about to declare the word, I dropped my million. Straight as Happy New Year's Eve. And he sent a message that was mind-blowing. Very short sentence. I can't rephrase exactly how it is, but that message, just the same as February was entering, one prayer point I was asking God was a boss for my mission. One young man, a boss of 42 million naira, he paid for this boss cash for 36 million. Discount, and he paid 36 million. And that's the boss I'm coming for. If you go outside, you see Abounding Grace Foundation. Beautiful GL boss, very beautiful Homer boss, boss in Citas. Just by the word of a prophet. That's how my life changed completely. And I want to also tell everyone that are supporting us, God bless you so much. But we have enormous problem in the prison. There are juveniles that are not fed. They are dying in the prisons. I don't want to mention the name of the prison, but I have videos. If you want, contact me. I will show you the videos. They are dying for nothing. No money to set them free. We have prisoners that we pay only 1,000 to set free. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Evidences are there on my social media. If you go at Prisoner Voice, you will see all my videos. And you see many of them that are not, they are there for nothing. They did not commit any crime. They are just victim of circumstances. And like in Lagos where we reside, we have what they call raiding. Those ones, they are raided. There are people that are coming back from work very late, some dress swaggerly and all that, and they carry them to the Badagry prison, lock them up because they don't have money to pay themselves out that time. They packed up there. We bury them with 50 people, 30, 40, sometimes it took only 700,000 naira to bear 40 people. The videos and evidences are there. I can show you. You can see them on my social media handle. I want to tell you, please support as much as you can. There are innocent people. Don't call everybody saying Nigerian prison criminals. 75% of Nigeria, I repeat, 75% of Nigerian inmates are innocent. When you are kept in prison, about 90% of them have not been in court for 19 years, 20 years. You can't call them criminals. That's where I put my feet down to fight for them. They are not criminal until they are convicted. And those that are convicted, 50% of them are wrongly convicted because they cannot afford to pay the lawyers. And I'm asking you, any way you can partner with us. Our details are there on social media. However you're going to partner with us, God will bless you. in anywhere. And if you want to be part of the foot soldiers, you are welcome. We accommodate everyone to go with us so you can have a touch of the experience. You will see what's going on. We have 242 prisons in Nigeria, over 80,000 inmates in Nigeria. We've been to Sierra Leone prison, we've been to Ghana prison, we've been to Liberia prison, Gambia prison, South Africa prison. All are the same. So much irregular things that are going on there. Some things that you don't need, inhuman things that are happening in Nigerian prison. Just money, little money save lives in prison. Just to buy them even bread and drink and transform their lives. So please, there's so much to be said, but there's no time. In any way you can, and our social media handle is just at Prisoner Voice. If you just write Prisoner Voice or Abounding Grace Foundation, you get us. All our bank details are there, everything are there. And my contact, my UK line is also there. Everyone, you can reach me through that number.
Powerful, powerful. I'm just amazed, just looking at you, just saying, look at what God has done with this young man. Because the 68 doesn't mean you're old, you're a young man. And God is still going to use you for more things in the name of Jesus. And you've heard it all. What is what? Even if it's for nothing, just support. Your resources, your time, your prayers. You need your prayers, you know, and then and everything will be fine. Because the least we can do is to be our brother's keeper. And on this note, I want to call it a day. Till I see you next time, my name is Dr. Gabi Okonji. This is me signing out on 101 Gmtv. God bless you.
What a beauty to behold, such a wonder, we adore you, are Jesus. What a beauty to behold. You are my high priest, you are my Messiah. You are the one with eyes of fire. Oh, you are Jesus.
This is GMTV.